You want it? Go get it.
Put the pedal to the metal!
Oh my God, guys! Yes! Yes! Oh! Hey, boys! That's an ass whipping right there.
This is what they train for, an opportunity to bust off the fastest pit stop and try to win a championship.
Hell yeah. Holy crap.
This is all playing out right. Go get it.
The entire pack is crashing!
We're upside down. Just run right over us. This team never gives up. Yeah. Check up, just check up.
Horrific crash!
Checker flag right here.
Every year, teams invest hundreds of thousands of dollars and drivers prepare to come down here in search of one and only one thing, a trophy and bragging rights. And here at Daytona, it's the most famous racing trophy in all of stock car racing, the Harley J. Earl. And it goes to the winner of the Daytona 500 tomorrow on Fox. But first, we have NASCAR Cup Series practice presented by Toyota. One final tune-up. 50 minutes according to the schedule for drivers to answer any lingering questions about how that car and other cars are going to perform in the Great American Race. Hi, everybody. Mike Joy with Clint Boyer. You can't see it behind us, but there was a little sprinkle just a bit ago. A little sprinkle here at start-finish, but apparently enough rain around the track that we're going to have a bit of a delay before cars get out there. You saw Joey Logano got in the car, got out of the car, and I just wonder how many of these cars are going to go out and what they're going to be searching for.
Well, a few. You saw Joey Logano right there. That's why he threw his gloves back up on the window. A little bit of a delay here for rain, but that's okay. Let's get it out of the way today. That way today or tomorrow is clean sailing, and it's supposed to be, so loving that. But a few of those guys need to get in this race car and go out there, make some laps, make sure everything's okay one last time.
Right. It's your only chance. So Larry McReynolds, what's on your list for today?
Yeah, Mike, I mean, we've been here since Tuesday, and it's been on the track every single day. But this is the one you're anticipating because this is the last one before the Daytona 500. I want to make sure everything for that driver is exactly what he wants. The seat, the mirrors, because it's going to be 200 laps, 500 miles. And you know what? We had a truck race last night, 250 miles. Even if we just get out there with several cars, let's make sure this racetrack has not changed. And I think about Kurt Busch in 2311 yesterday. Fighting radio problems. I want to make sure all that's working well. And then, of course, the biggest thing, we've seen some issues on pit road. I wouldn't mind working on getting on the pit road just a couple more times and just make sure we nail down that pit road speed and get all we can, but not too much.
Thanks, Larry. Perhaps the biggest questions surround the one driver who has to go to a backup car. He had it on track yesterday. He's got one more chance to tune it up. Here's Regan Smith.
Well, Mike, that's correct. Joey Logano did get some laps in this backup car yesterday in practice. Learned a little bit about to you, though, to be able to go out there and just get that little bit more bit of knowledge out of it.
Yeah, you know, the guys did a great job getting our backup car going. You know, I put them in a pretty bad spot after my mistake in the duels, but they got the Shell Penzo Mustang going again yesterday. Got out there, drives pretty much the same as the other one. Still fine-tune it a little bit here, go out there with our teammates, and you know, just get a feel for it, adjust a couple things, see where we go after running a few laps, and go from there.
All right, thanks, Joey.
Thanks, Regan. Well, Thursday night, it all came down to the last lap. Joey Logano was leading. Chris Buescher made a move to the bottom. Logano came down to block with disastrous results.
Well, a textbook move on both behalves. Chris Buescher, you know, he had the run, went down low, and then all of a sudden Joey Logano makes a last-minute block right there. That's something that you got to learn with these new cars. It happened fast on both sides of that equation.
Now, to make matters worse, his satellite teammate Harrison Burton was also involved in that crash and did not get to practice yesterday. down to the racetrack after damage from the wall. So they had to replace the bumper on Burton's car and some of that support structure. It was a 3-hour repair, and they did not get on track yesterday at all.
And you took the words out of my mouth. I mean, that was that car. Replace the front end on that thing. Look at it. Looks tested tough. Brand new factory Ford Mustang. She is ready to hit the track, and there he goes. That's the thought behind this car, though, right, Mike? I mean, that's what we wanted. That's what we hoped to be able to do with this car. If that was last year's car, that baby would have been in a barn headed back to North Carolina, and you'd been pulling a backup out. No chance that it'd fix that car. With this one, bolt-on pieces, give me a new nose, and let's go.
Yeah, the sixth generation NASCAR Cup car was fabricated. This car is assembled.
Yeah.
From a group of single source parts determined and detailed by NASCAR, who last week announced much more severe penalties than ever before for anyone choosing to modify any of those spec parts.
So we see the 4 Stewart-Haas racing cars right here going out and working together. Doesn't surprise me much. 3 of those 4 cars lost that draft in the duels and did not like that. I see them working on some speed right here, probably doing that collectively together. A lot of Fords out there. But in particular, I was watching these 4 naturally because I used to drive one of them, and very interested to see what they come up with here in this practice.
Eric Almirola, after time trialing in the top 4, he will start 38th.
And he's done such a good job, you know, ever since he's been in these Stewart-Haas cars. Really before that, he's just a good plate racer. And he was in the running for it last year. The year before that, Austin Dillon's Daytona 500 win, he had to knock him out of the way to do it. That cat right there can win on this racetrack.
What about Kevin Harvick? We have not seen happy Harvick yet this week.
Yet. You know what it takes to make old Kevin happy? That right down there, Mike. Victory lane. Fixes everything. And he can do it. At a flip of a switch, he can go from being just mad at earth, and then make a good move. And the scariest thing about Kevin Harvick is momentum. You give him just a little bit of momentum, and look out, he's on a tear. 9 wins in 2020, 0 in 2021. Pretty incredible the way to do it. That cat right there can win on this racetrack.
What about Kevin Harvick? We have not seen happy Harvick yet this week.
Yet. You know what it takes to make old Kevin happy? That right down there, Mike. Victory lane. Fixes everything. And he can do it. At a flip of a switch, he can go from being just mad at earth, and then make a good move. And the scariest thing about Kevin Harvick is momentum. You give him just a little bit of momentum, and look out, he's on a tear. 9 wins in 2020, 0 in 2021. Pretty incredible. He's ready to prove a point this year.
He was pretty ticked off Thursday night when he started to lose the draft, and the Fords in front of him decided not to fan out so that he'd be able to catch back up to them. And I would imagine that all the manufacturers are going to have some big conversations between now and 2:30 on Sunday about how to help each other, not hurt each other, and not help the opposition.
Well, you said it, the fanning out. And what do you mean by that? If you're that 4th car right there in Chase Briscoe, you want whoever's in front of you. If you're having trouble holding on, that car in front of you needs to fan out, make that wake bigger so you can pull back up to the group, because essentially it helps everybody. If you lose a car, you're just going to be down a car, and it's going to be slower.
All new faces in these places. Todd Gilliland replaces Anthony Alfredo for front row. Ty Dillon in the new 42, the car number that Lee Petty made famous, returns to Richard Petty, now Petty GMS Racing, with Maury Gallagher as a partner. And Harrison Burton, as we've mentioned, the rookie for the Wood Brothers. And don't count him out. Remember Trevor Bayne? In his 2nd Cup start, he won the Daytona 500 for Glenn and Leonard. Eddie and Len Wood, Kim Woodhall, that whole great family racing team out of Virginia.
I'm looking forward to watching Harrison this year. It's a wonderful opportunity for him. Obviously, racing's in their pedigree, and I think the kid can get it done. I really do. I think this is an awesome year for him and his opportunity in this 21 car.
NASCAR's informed us that the length of this practice will not be extended due to the delay for rain. We've got a packed schedule today, and you'll see it all on the Fox Family of Networks, FS1, beginning at 10 o'clock here.
See these two College racing cars right here. Man, I tell you what, they have shown some speed, impressed not only the Coliseum, but here. You know, ever since we've been down here at Speed Weeks in Daytona, those cars have been fast, very fast on qualifying night. I think they're going to make some noise in this race.
David Reagan, he's seen success here, hung up his helmet and decided to make a return. And then Daniel Hemrick. Hemrick at the front of this group. Regan?
Well, Mike and Clint, interestingly enough, you see the College cars out here working right now with one of the Spire cars, one of which is in the garage still, the number 7 of Corey LaJoie, doing a little repair work to that car after yesterday's practice. Their plan right now in this session is to actually continue to run in a pack, and they're going to let each one of these cars take a turn at the front of the pack. They want to see if it comes down to them having to run together in the Daytona 500 tomorrow, which car can pull that pack the fastest and what order they need to be in the lineup. So already thinking ahead to all different circumstances in that race tomorrow in any scenario they might face.
Should there be that much of a difference, one car to another within the same team?
Well, there can be, you know, some difference in mentalities, difference of opinion. And I was talking to Kevin Harvick about Stewart-Haas Racing and how their cars were so much different qualifying speed, right, on qualifying night. And the answer was we all came with a little bit different things. So there was some rhyme and reason, you know, to the methodology there. And whether that's heights, whether that's, you know, your suspension, your dampening, everything else. You know, we saw that 10 car, he was really fast, but that thing was bouncing big time. I tell you another thing, as we're watching Casgarella right here, he's practicing pit road speed, Mike. He got busted and almost cost him a shot at the Daytona 500 because of that speeding. I bet you see him making a couple stabs at that.
Yeah, he was all but counted out, but then with a lap to go, or a couple of laps to go, J.J. Yaley went a second lap down to the leaders, and Gralla was able to catch a draft and pass Yaley on the last turn of the last lap and get into the 500. All right, Harrison Burton working on pit road entry.
That was not a good pit road run. I sped early, and then the lights are almost worse than they were before. Brian?
So what he was relaying there to the crew chief, all right, the crew chief can be down there and watch your pit road speed. He was going to make him it's very important to tell that crew chief right away he was speeding. You heard him say, hey, that's not a good one because I was speeding on the front side of that. You need to tell him that because he's going to come in, make an adjustment to the dash of that race car. You're going to be in big trouble on Sunday. So that was a smart heads-up deal by telling that crew chief, hey, let me go back and let me make another stab at it, and I'll get you right. Then you can make your adjustment on those lights.
Cole Custer, Kevin Harvick at work here. That four-car Stewart-Haas pack has the fastest times of this session. It just seems like every time we see a group go out, 4 seems to be the magic number. Not just because some teams have 4 cars, but it seems like that's the number of cars you need, at least 4 cars in the draft to be able to put up a number.
You can see that 4th car in the draft lost the draft, though. And this might be something where they practice that right here. Let's look for his teammate Eric Almirola to fan out, see if he catches up.
Greg Biffle is back, and here we see him shaking the rust off of pit road entry for New York
Not only
Racing.
was he over the line, he killed it right there. So come on, Biff. He'll have it right for tomorrow.
Remember, the transmission is no longer right behind the engine. It's a transaxle in the back of the car and a 5-speed sequential shifter. Now, those of you who've ridden motorcycles know that you can, on a motorcycle shifter, 1 forward and 4 back, but with it neutral in the middle. Not the case here.
Well, it's just, you know, you pull in first gear, second gear, all the way up through the gearbox is back. Pull that baby back. You're going to downshift down. So it's much like a motorcycle, as you said. Different feeling, though. I drove this car in Winston-Salem at Bowman Gray Stadium with Tony and Dale Jr., and that was one of the hardest things for me to get used to.
Wow. Larry Mack?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. I think the reason these guys are having to work so hard on getting on the pit road and working on their speed, getting in their pit box. You guys have touched on the 5-speed sequential shifter, but we've heard it all week long. The bigger brakes on these cars, 30% more braking than the old car. Kevin Harvick, who's been doing it for 21 years, said he has really had to work on adapting to this bigger brake package.
Well, you had a 15-inch wheel for 72 years in NASCAR. Now you have an 18-inch wheel, and much bigger brakes will fit inside there. How many times are you going to have to ask Kyle Busch, when are you going to win the 500? He is the subject of today's Toyota driver profile. 59 career wins in the NASCAR Cup Series, where he is a 2-time champion, won twice last season. But he has to face the same question that Ned Jarrett, Tony Stewart, Terry Labonte, many other champions faced over the years. Dale Earnhardt for 19 years. Can you win the Daytona 500?
I can tell you this. I'm not going to bet against him.
No.
No way.
Nope.
He's too good, can pounce at any time.
The Stewart-Haas Mustangs switching up the order here.
And the reason they're doing that, trying to figure out who leads the best, who pushes the best, who's the best caboose. You got to know that order, because that's what they're going to try to work on tomorrow in this race.
We saw Rick Hendrick's cars doing the same thing yesterday. Switching around and figuring out what was the best lineup for comfort and for speed. Speaking of speed, pit road speed.
Yeah, and both of them, I saw them peel off there almost dead even as they come across the line. Got into his box good. That was a good entry. That's another thing. It's one thing we've all seen. Everybody saw Denny Hamlin have trouble at the line. Don't forget those bigger brakes. They'll slide through that box really easy as well. You lock up those tires with the big massive brakes, you go right through that thing.
And most importantly, they are stopping in the pit box they will use tomorrow. The pit selections have already been made, so just kind of getting used to that. What about getting down to pit road speed here, Clint? Because you don't have any markers coming onto pit road.
No, pit road is always hard. You can see it right there. There's nothing. It's the best when you can pit with somebody in front of you, get that gauge off of them. But that distance, judging that distance is extremely hard, especially with these new brakes where you can get in way harder than you used to be able to.
Daytona 500 final practice rolls on.
I'm here.
Welcome back to NASCAR Cup Series final practice, part of Speed Weeks presented by Advent Health. 18 of the 40 Daytona 500 drivers have been on track. There is Team Penske, formed up as a group of 3, and there's the satellite team, the Wood brothers. Harrison Burton will join them, and out they go.
And I'm glad they are, because I'm curious to see. We saw those 4 Stewart-Haas cars go to the top of the board. Let's see what these Penske boys can do.
Regan Smith.
Well, Mike, I've caught up with another one of the drivers not making any laps in practice today. Daniel Suarez, obviously out of your race car in street clothes. This is going to be your 5th Daytona 500. What is the build-up like to Sunday and keeping your emotions in check for this event?
You know, there is always a lot of energy, a lot of excitement when we get here for the Daytona 500 in February. And everyone is ready to go. You know, we've been here since Tuesday, practicing, qualifying, duels, and everyone can't wait to get into Sunday and race. But that's when mistakes happen, you know, because there is too much excitement. Look at that. I bet that was Ross. But yeah, you know, we just have to stay calm, have fun. We have a very, very fast 99 Chevy Camaro. We have a lot of kids in our team, as you can see. But yeah, it's gonna be a good time. We have a great car.
Obviously, teammates getting along very well, Mike. You can see by how much stroking's taking place down here.
Yeah, they used up a lot of bumper paint yesterday between the Daniel and Ross Chastain.
Well, you can tell, and he said he got a fast, hot ride. They do, and that's why they're in such a good mood. Good feeling going into a big race like this, knowing you got a car capable of getting the job done. Tough feeling knowing that you got to get it to the end to get that job done.
Yes. Team Penske and Wood brothers, 4 cars strong here. comes Ty Dillon, who had hoped to catch a tow from that group.
I'd say they're probably waiting on the 22, and if he comes, we'll just try to tag onto them.
10-4, let's just roll out there, and we'll come down pit road and stop in our box, please, to make sure we don't stall it out.
I wanted to play the game with them.
Yeah, I understand what you're trying to do. It's not really worth it. We need all the friends we can get tomorrow.
The old lone wolf looking for a dancing partner, isn't he?
Well, he's got a teammate. He's got Eric Jones, and got a bunch of Chevrolets there.
I can't imagine after the Coliseum and that last chance qualifier I saw that he was in, that he's having trouble finding a dancing partner, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah, Ty Dillon had a very eventful LCQ, so much so that on the final restart, NASCAR judged that he jumped and went before the restart zone, and rather than penalizing him immediately, they just waited till the end of it and said, have a nice day, you're done.
It doesn't matter. I know who his granddad is. You bring your friends to the racetrack. That's what he always said.
That's Richard Childress. Now, between yesterday's practice and this practice, every car in the 500 has been on track but one. Formula One champ Jacques Villeneuve, they had difficulty with their car, and I don't know if they've got it fixed. They did not practice Saturday, and they've not been out today.
They had a throttle cable issue, going into the dual race, and barely got a lap in. We didn't think he was going to. Got it fixed up, made a few laps, and pulled in.
Yep.
Hopefully they got that ready to go.
All right, let's take a ride here with Ryan Blaney. Down in the lower left corner, you see the throttle trace. He is flat on the floor. That red trace and the white pointer, that is the steering angle indicator. And you'll rarely see that brake light up down on the bottom.
See how smooth his wheel is, Mike? So one of the adjustments that these guys can do is adjust, how much tension is in that wheel. And it looks to me like he runs a lot of tension in that wheel. You don't see him sawing on that wheel. When we watch Kevin Harvick in his car, really sawing on it back and forth. Not much at all with Ryan Blaney.
What have they done to improve the ride quality in these cars? Because Tuesday we saw drivers pogoing, all over the place.
Well, so I dug into that a little bit, and once I got to thinking about it, it makes sense. One of the improved adjustments coming from an impound procedure is the dampening in the shocks. And these things are double adjustable on both sides of that. You can change the wedge. They can essentially adjust their way all out of that rigidness that we saw in qualifying night. And that's exactly why you're seeing these cars smooth. Still, a lot of speed within all those adjustments. So what can you get away with? That's why you see these guys out here in these last couple practice sessions trying to log laps and figure that out.
Oh, the 69 car has trouble. Is that the same paint job that's on Kaz Grala's car? It is. It's that Floyd Mayweather wrap.
I have the same exact model limo, Mike. The same exact one. Mine's camouflage naturally, but that's a hot model right there.
Regan.
Well, Kaz Grala watching our screen right now as we just showed that race car. Kaz, a very similar looking car there. You've got one of the brightest cars in the garage area, the money team for Floyd Mayweather. How much has things changed for you since Thursday, knowing now that you're locked in and you got to switch focus for this race?
It's been a nice weekend, Friday, Saturday, vacation here, back to work tomorrow with the serious stuff. So we're pumped to be in. We're excited about it. We made some changes to our number 50 Camaro, and I think it's better. Right there in practice, of course, we couldn't actually get in the middle of a line because we have no friends, so that was tough. But we tried to tack on to a couple other lines, and I feel like we got some speed built into it. So we're really optimistic about tomorrow and our chances. And I mean, as you know, if we're at the end, then we got a shot at it. So we're going to see what we can do tomorrow to keep ourselves in a safe position and be there when it counts.
I'll be your friend, Kaz. Good luck tomorrow.
There you go. He has 4 Cup starts and 2 top 10 finishes. His car is so bright, he's got to wear shades. Limo at your service. Welcome back to Daytona. If you have any questions remaining about your setup, you've got 11 minutes to figure it out. William Byron waiting for some friends while Regan's already up to speed.
Well, Mike, Jock Villeneuve standing outside of his race car right now, Formula One champion, getting ready to make your first start in the Great American Race. We saw you have some problems on Thursday night in the dual races, not able to get the laps in that you wanted to there. Is everything worked out with the car now? Are you good for Sunday?
Well, we fixed the Thursday problem, but then this morning we just found out we dropped a valve, so we have to change engine. Not a lot of laps, and I was wanting to try the pit lane entry and pit out a little bit, but 500 miles is a long time to learn all that tomorrow.
It is a long time and a lot of experience, Mike, for Jock. He'll get it figured out pretty fast.
Thanks for checking up on that. So an engine change.
Wow.
For the Hesburgh number 27.
Man, that's a big hit.
Yeah.
But there were some sour faces when they fired that thing out and figured that out.
Yeah.
Woo. Good time, though.
Better today than tomorrow.
That's 100%
right?
correct. Hey, we asked, are they going to be any faster than those Stewart-Haas cars? Just a little bit, and they actually keep getting faster, keep perfecting their craft. Just like the Stewart-Haas cars, they mixed it around, tried to figure out if the one car leads better than the other. They just switched around and went a little faster yet.
Now, we've only seen 2 of the Hendrick cars on track, Byron and Bowman. Not Chase Elliott, nor Kyle Larson.
Yeah, I think those cars, Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman go out and all right, we're going to practice pit road speed. You got to get those marks right. You asked me about the focal point. How do you judge that distance? Do it. Repetition. Get good at it, right? By yourself. And then the other aspect, you come off that corner, you're going to be going a second and a half faster when in a group, or way faster than you are by yourself. So that's, again, something you got to keep in the back of your mind.
As you come onto pit road, though, it's all flat. There's really, there's no sign, no number signs on the fence, anything like that. They fired the orange cone. Now it's just a painted spot on the track. I mean, look, there's that great expanse, but there's not much to judge off of as far as where to hit your brakes, where to hit your marks.
Only one, Johnny Law. Don't be crossing that line going too fast. Hey, hey, hey.
It's MJ.
That is exactly who that is. Pretty cool to see him take it in the Daytona 500, enjoying it. As a race fan, he's back there at his bus, hanging out with his family and friends. That's cool.
Yep.
Very cool.
Celebrated a birthday this week, turned 59. So I did a piece for Fox Business yesterday, and when they fonted the piece, the font operator was handed a sheet that said MJ, Floyd Mayweather, and Pitbull have cars in the Daytona 500. Well, apparently the font operator saw that I was being interviewed and wasn't sure who the other MJ was. So they put my name up there. And
hey, good company, buddy. I didn't know you was an owner.
My son immediately texted, so Dad, you got a race car, you need a driver?
That's right.
And my daughter texts, way to go. And my wife texts, you bought what? So, but we all had a little fun with it. Regan.
Well, Michael, we talked about the excitement that Ty Dillon had at the Coliseum a couple weeks ago. So far this weekend, though, a much calmer weekend for you. Made some laps in final practice here. What did you learn about your race car that you can use for Sunday?
Yeah, our Black Rifle Camaro has been really strong, really handling well. We were able to get to the front there during the duel and had some success. We didn't really have a whole lot of help to kind of stay grouped up, but I'm looking forward to the 500 tomorrow. It's a blessing, it's an opportunity to be back here again and driving this number 42. I got Lee Petty's stylized number 42. The originator of the Petty name, and to be a part of this team is really awesome. So I'm excited. Yeah, I was a little aggressive in the Coliseum, but I've been given good race cars, and anytime I've been in a situation with good cars, my nature is to be a little aggressive. Heck, you know about that. So it's who I am when I get in the car, and when I get a good race car, I want to get to the front by all means.
Thanks, Ty.
I am glad to see him back in the truck series. That young fellow has a lot of talent. He's going to go places. 6 minutes to go in final practice. Team Penske still on track. That four-car group now has broken up. A couple of them went to pit road, leaving Joey Logano out there. Did I misspeak? I meant Ty Dillon. Glad to see him back in the Cup Series. I know it sounded like Truck Series. Okay, Cup Series. Glad to see him back.
I knew what you meant. He knew what you meant. That's all that matters.
Ooh.
fire out the pipe. It's almost like it either hit the chip or, missed a shift right there. Which is pretty almost impossible to do with this.
Yeah, Larry, with this box, can you miss a shift with the sequential transaxle?
You can, Mike. It's probably a lot harder, though, than with the old 4-speed H pattern.
Way
no
harder.
question.
Almost to the point where you could leave that thing wide. I remember Robbie Gordon, long time ago, as a teammate of mine at RCR. We come off of turn 1 back when you'd shift at Pocono, and I heard him. It's like, how in the world did he just shift that fast? He was holding it wide open, and as soon as he was using a rev limiter to burp it to get it in gear, never lifted out of the gas.
Wow. Watch Greg Biffle's entry here to pit road. Whoa!
That car's pretty rigid.
Clint, I've noticed this on a lot of drivers coming on the pit road. Every time they would downshift, every time they'd grab another gear going down, the car would like start bucking.
That one wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
If he shifted right at that transition coming off the banking.
Yeah, but it sure seemed like that was in the front end and not necessarily, enticed by the rear.
Regan?
Mike Kevin Harvick outside of his race car, done for the day. All your work's done until the Daytona 500. Now, as a veteran, I got to ask you, what is the night before the 500 like, trying to get that rest and get ready for that event?
Well, I think it's different with 2 kids in the motorhome than it probably used to be. But, I think that this year has been a lot different because there's a lot going on. There's a lot less downtime when there's practice time. I think we utilized all the practices this week and have tried to work through things in meetings and different things because everything is new. So there's a lot of communication, a lot of things to figure out. I think our guys on our Busch Light Ford Mustang have done a good job. I felt better about where we were right there at the tail end of the pack compared to where we were a couple days ago. So we'll see where it goes from there. I still think that there's more to learn when they drop the green flag with all the cars on the racetrack, and we'll just kind of have to a little bit trial by fire on that situation and go from there once we start the race.
Thanks, Regan. Varying agendas for NASCAR's powerhouse teams. Team Penske and Stewart-Haas have both run most of this session with all of their cars. We're going to look at Joey Logano come in here.
Well, he's smoking it off in there. It almost sounded like he was still downshifting after the line. I don't know that he hit pit road speed that time, but if you're going to make that mistake, go ahead and blow that thing off in there. Get it all right here. Get that out of the way. You'll know where too far is for tomorrow.
But I don't know if he wants a clean lap or not.
So the other 2 powerhouse 4-car teams, Joe Gibbs Racing, their Toyotas did not practice at all in this session. And Team Hendrick, William Byron ran a few laps. Chase Elliott and Alex Bowman left the garage, came around, practiced pit road entry, but never ran a full lap of speed, and Kyle Larson's been absent. So what's Logano up to here?
Well, right here, I think he's just coming in. I think they're done. But, well, when he went back out there, they asked him, you heard him say, does he want to run a clean lap? Means, does he want him to go out and run one more clean lap to get that in before it? But he came in. He rode pit road speed. He's downshifting right here, which tells me for whatever reason, like the brakes are pushed back. That would be the only reason I would try to do that and get it slowed down with the shift. See, now he's going to put it in gear, and if you hear him pulling in the garage, you might hear that clutch. Let's see what happens right here. I don't know why you would use downshift like that any other reason. Like in qualifying, when you make the final 10, you got them brakes pushed back and you got to use the transmission to get that thing slowed down. Now listen to this right here. I don't know. I have no idea why he did that. Larry, you're gonna have to help me with that.
All right.
You're on your own, Clint.
Joey Logano ran the most laps in this practice session, 25. The driver with the second most laps has the fastest time of final practice. He's with Regan.
Well, Mike Harrison Burton is the fastest guy in Daytona on Saturday. Sunday, obviously, when you want to be the fastest. We saw this race car after the duels. It was tore up pretty good. You guys were able to fix it up, and this thing looks like it's ready for Sunday.
Yeah, it feels ready. I mean, it's just a testament to these Wood Brothers guys. I mean, we hit the 22 really hard and had to pretty much redo the whole front end of the race car, and took the whole day yesterday to do it. Took our time and got our stuff right. Obviously, we've got good speed. Handling seems pretty good. It's hard to tell until you get out there. I mean, when the real big pack is always different than a pack of four. So trying to relay as much information as we can. But overall, it's been a pretty